This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com, and welcome back to my horse racing YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to recap the 2022 Preakness Stakes. I'm going to do a very early preview of the Belmont Stakes. Before I get into all that, I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, hitting that like button, and commenting in all of my Preakness videos. I posted 4 Preakness related videos, and we got a good 10,000 views, total views on those. So thank everybody for watching. And I've tried to get back to almost every person that comments. I try to get back to as many as possible and as quickly as possible as well. So just thank you for supporting my channel. And the super thanks button is also enabled now if you're interested in supporting in that way. I want to thank everybody for purchasing my full card. So for the Preakness and my other Preakness week products, had record sales at the runawayhorse.com this year, and we had some good success in the Preakness Stakes on the wagers. Throw those wagers up right now. I've been covering these full cards for Triple Crown in Southern California since the late 1990s. So I've been doing this for quite a few years, and we've had a lot of success in the Triple Crown races, including the 2022 Preakness Stakes. My $420 in suggested wagers, including a $100 win wager on early voting, that would have brought back $670. A $20 exacta with early voting on top of Epicenter would have brought back $258. $4 trifecta, having early voting in Epicenter keyed in first and second with 4 horses underneath, including Creative Minister. That one came back $266. Had another successful trifecta keying Epicenter in second on top of my other contenders. So that one came back $66.50. And then some of the other wagers we didn't hit in superfectas. And then in the super high five, came close to the super high five, couldn't quite get it done. Even if Epicenter would have won, we would have made a nice profit in the race as well, but the payouts would have been a bit lower because we had the the 5-to-1 winner on top, and Epicenter was the favorite there. But overall, $420 in wagers, amount returned $1,265.50. So hopefully if you purchased my Preakness analysis, you made the wagers and you were able to make some money, or you watched my final Preakness video where I gave out my top choice early voting and you were able to bet him and make some money as well. So that'll do it for the Preakness wagers. Now let's look back at the Preakness Stakes, and it was the 13th race at Pimlico on Saturday, May 21st. It was very hot. It started to get hot for the weather on Black-Eyed Susan Day, the day before the Preakness, and then it got even hotter on Preakness Day. Now, as we saw on the main track for both of those days, horses that were showing early pressing speed were winning most of the races on the main track. Not all, but most. So I was feeling pretty good heading into the Preakness, knowing that early voting had that good early pressing speed. Now, some people may have thought he was a need to lead type, and if he didn't get the lead, he was going to quit. But just looking at his Wood Memorial prior to the Preakness Stakes, he set a nice controlled pace there. He was able to rate on the lead, and then he was clearly second best. Mo Donegal just caught him at the end. So he did show the ability to relax, and I thought even if someone else went in here, he could work out a good trip sitting close, and that's exactly what happened. Now, Armagnac, the West Coast invader under Jarrod Ortiz Jr., he was intent on the lead, and he opened up a clear early lead, but early voting, he was just able to sit a perfect trip in second behind that one, and then after Armagnac got tired, early voting inherited the lead. He spurted clear by more than 3 lengths, and he was able to hold clear by 1.25 lengths over Epicenter. Now, Epicenter, your favorite, he was the deserving favorite in this race based on his resume, and he's one that had shown some good speed in the past. And then in the Kentucky Derby, the pace was super fast, and he was able to rally from 8th place, take the lead, and then he ended up finishing second there, getting run down late by long shot Rich Strike. In this race, you figured he, based on how the track had been playing and the way that he had shown speed in the past, that from that outer post that Epicenter would be able to sit a nice tracking trip, comfortable, maybe right up there behind early voting, but that wasn't the case. He didn't have the best start, and he was squeezed back. He was at the back of the pack early, which was very surprising, and the pace wasn't quick. They were going 24 and change, 47 and change, 111 and change. Contrast that to the Kentucky Derby, where they were going 21 and change, 45 and change. So they were going much slower, and that was to be expected. After that Kentucky Derby, these riders, you just knew they wanted no part in a speed duel, and that just was not going to set up that way this time. And that's exactly what happened. There was no speed duel. Armagnac was controlling the pace. Early voting was right there in second, waiting to pounce. Epicenter was surprisingly in last, and he was able to make up some ground and was closing nicely along the inside in the stretch. He was clearly second best, but he was never going to catch early voting. Once early voting spurted clear, that was the winning move, and then Epicenter just had too much to do under Joel Rosario. Now, under different circumstances, under a different trip, I could certainly see how Epicenter could have won this race. If he would have been able to get into a better position early, he could have easily run down early voting, but that's not the way it worked out. Early voting ran a good race, he earned a nice speed figure, and he was the deserving winner. He was the fresh horse in this race. All of the main contenders in this race, Epicenter, Creative Minister, Secret Oath, Simplification, all those horses who were solid contenders in the Preakness were all coming back on 2 weeks rest. Early voting had 6 weeks between starts. And then also the same thing that cloud computing did in 2017 for Chad Brown, where he decided not to run in the Derby. He waited for the Preakness. He only had 3 starts at Aqueduct, and he was fresh. He had tactical speed, and he won the race. That was a carbon copy this year for early voting. Excellent race spacing between all of his races, and he was sitting on a top effort, and he had that good early pressing speed, and he was able to work out the right trip and get the job done at a nice price at 5-1 over Epicenter, who was the favorite. So you figure if those two horses were the best coming in, which I thought on paper, that early voting was just going to offer more value, and he got the right trip, and he won the race. So good efforts by the top 2 finishers, and then Creative Minister finished third for trainer Ken McPeak. They put up the money here, $150,000 supplemental fee to run him, and he ran a quality race. He was stalking the pace. He was best of the rest in third. The filly, Secret Oath, she was back at the back of the pack early. She made a nice move to get in contention, but she couldn't keep going, kind of like her Arkansas Derby, where she rallied from the back, she made a menacing move, and then she flattened out. She did the same thing here. They're not going to be going to the Belmont Stakes with her. They're going to give her a break. And then Skippylongstocking was my live long shot, and he ended up finishing 5th, just nosing out Simplification, who ran a bit of a disappointing race. He's usually in the mix. Then Armagnac tired to finish 7th, and then it was Happy Jack, and then Fenwick to round out the order of finish in the Preakness Stakes. So now heading forward now, early voting's not going to run in the Belmont Stakes. They're going to give him a break, probably point to the Travers. He may end up running in the Haskell or the Jim Dandy before that. Epicenter, same thing. They're not going to run him in the Belmont. He's been in steady training since last fall. He just shows up every time. He's going to get a little bit of a break, and then they're going to bring him back for Saratoga this summer for the Jim Dandy and the Travers. A Creative Minister will be moving on to the Belmont Stakes. He's one that's lightly raced. He's only run 4 times. He's run well in all 4 starts. This was his stakes debut, and he performed admirably for trainer Ken McPeak. Secret Oath, she's going to be back with the fillies. The Coaching Club American Oaks at Saratoga is next, followed by the Alabama. Skippylongstocking could end up running in the Belmont Stakes next for trainer Safi Joseph Jr. Simplification deserves a little bit of a break. I'm not sure what they're going to do with him next. Armagnac will probably head back to the West Coast with Happy Jack, and then Fenwick needs a softer spot. So those were all the horses for the Preakness and where they are heading next. Now, we're going to be heading to the Belmont Stakes next, and I've had a lot of success in the Belmont Stakes. This could be one of my most successful races when I do my Triple Crown Series. I've done really well in the Preakness. The Derby's the toughest one, obviously, to hit. In the Kentucky Derby, you have that 20-horse field, and so many things need to go right. But the Preakness Stakes, I did not have winning tickets in the Derby this year. My top 2 choices finished 2nd and 3rd. And then in the Preakness, bounced back with some nice winning scores. And now the Belmont Stakes. So since 2014 up to 2021 in the Belmont Stakes, I've given out plenty of winning tickets over those years. 6 of those 8 years, I've been able to come through with some winning tickets. The 2014 Belmont Stakes, I had the Tonalist Commissioner Exacta on my full card. That one for $2 paid $3.48. In the 2015 Belmont Stakes, I had the trifecta, American Pharaoh, Frosted Keen Ice. That trifecta paid $109.50. The 2017 Belmont Stakes, I really crushed that one. I had Top Choice Taprit for trainer Todd Pletcher at 5-1. Had the Exacta, the trifecta, and the superfecta that came back more than $4,000. The Belmont Stakes in 2018, I had that trifecta with Justify, Gronkowski and Hofberg. That one paid $4.59. The 2020 Belmont Stakes, I had this trifecta again, Tis the Law, Dr. Post, and Max Player for $1.99. Last year, I had the Essential Quality Hot Rod Charlie Exacta, and then the Superfecta didn't get good payouts in that year. A pretty chalky finish there. So that's the look at my recent highlights in the Belmont Stakes, and I will be doing the Belmont Stakes full card at the runawayhorse.com on my sales page, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be offering some other Belmont Stakes week products as well. You can buy just the race. I'm going to do the stakes races during the week as a product as well. So head on over to the runawayhorse.com when we get closer to the Belmont Stakes if you're interested in any of those products. Now we're going to look at the Belmont Stakes hopefuls right now. It's very early. We're still just a day less than 3 weeks from the Belmont Stakes. But so far, Kentucky Derby winner Rich Strike is going to run there. He just had a workout at Churchill Downs. He skipped the Preakness. They're going to the Belmont. His sire, Keen Ice, was third in the Belmont Stakes. I don't think the distance is going to be causing a problem for Rich Strike. It's just a question of can Lightning strike twice? Can he jump up there and surprise again? And his lack of speed could be a concern in a Belmont Stakes. Typically in the Belmont, the pace is very slow. Now, Mo Donegal for trainer Todd Pletcher. Now, Todd Pletcher is known for running horses in the Derby, and then when they don't do well, he skips the Preakness, and then he points to the Belmont Stakes. He's had a lot of success with that angle. Mo Donegal's using that angle. He ran well in the Kentucky Derby. He finished 5th in that 20-horse field. He was rallying very wide. He could have been a bit closer if he wasn't so wide in the stretch, but that was a good effort for him. He's got that grinding closing style, and he was able to run down early voting in the Wood Memorial. That one came back and won the Preakness. So Mo Donegal has a lot of quality. He defeated Zandon last year in the Remsen Stakes. Zandon came back and won the Bluegrass. So he's faced some good horses. He's got that grinding closing style that could work well at 1.5 miles. Barber Road, he's typically always in the mix. He was 6th in the Kentucky Derby. He just tries so hard. He's one that hit the board in a bunch of stakes races in Arkansas on the road to the Derby, but that road wasn't particularly strong this year. The Arkansas Derby horses, or the horses that ran in any of the prep races at Oaklawn Park for the Kentucky Derby, disappointed in multiple races since then. Nest for trainer Todd Pletcher, the filly that was 2nd in the Kentucky Oaks. She's possible for the Belmont Stakes. She would be interesting in the Belmont, I think. She has a ton of stamina, and she runs well in races that unfold just at a slow clip, where she's able to just gallop along with her tactical speed, and then she just has so much stamina. Look what she did in the Demoiselle last year, where the pace wasn't that quick, and she was just so wide, and she just used her stamina to win that one. She looked good in the Suncoast Stakes, and she looked really good in the Ashland Stakes. In the Kentucky Oaks, it was a difference of trips where they wanted to get her outside, but they couldn't. But Secret Oath was able to get outside and have that clean trip, and Nest was kind of stuck inside. So she likes to gallop outside, and if she can get that kind of trip and they go to the Belmont, she can certainly, I think, get the 1.5 miles, and she would be a win contender. Ethereal Road for D. Wayne Lucas. He rallied from off the pace to win the Sir Barton Stakes on the Preakness undercard, and that was a good effort. And also, as we were talking about the Black-Eyed Susan Day and Preakness Day, that horses on the main track showing early pressing speed had a lot of success. Ethereal Road was one of those horses that was able to buck that trend and rally from off the pace. So that was a nice effort from Ethereal Road, and now he's going to try to go further. The question with him, I think, is distance, because his races at 1 mile and a 16th seem like his best efforts. We, the People, ran away with the Peter Pan Stakes, controlling the pace. He goes in the Belmont, could be dangerous if he can get out there and control the pace. And that's probably what they're going to want to do. So if he goes to the Belmont, and you're looking at the horses right now that are pointing to the Belmont, he looks like the controlling speed. But a lot could change with the field between now and the 3 weeks heading up to the Belmont Stakes. A Creative Minister, just 3rd in the Preakness for trainer Ken McPeak, could come back for the Belmont Stakes. He's got enough tactical speed to work out a trip. He's run well in all of his career starts, and he's one to watch for down the road. And now that he has stakes experience, maybe he'll move forward in the Belmont. And then Skippylongstocking is the other one right now that's possible for the Belmont. He was 5th in the Preakness Stakes, completing that super high 5. He would have to run a little bit better. He was 3rd in the Wood Memorial before that. So that's a look at the hopefuls right now for the Belmont Stakes. And again, my product will be available Belmont Stakes week. If you're interested in any of my other stuff at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page, I do Santa Anita Park full cards. If you're interested in free selections, I have a blog I've been doing at Horse Racing Nation for many years, and I do a free pick every day. That's my Horse Racing Nation Best Bets blog that you can find at horseracingnation.com on that front page in the handicapping section. I've had a lot of success over the years giving out my free pick winners there. I've been having a good month giving out some good winning wagers there as well. And then there's always my YouTube videos. I'm going to be doing more handicapping videos as we lead up to the Belmont. I'll do as much as I can, and I'll do some other stakes races from around the country as we head up to the Belmont Stakes. Now, until I see you next time, good luck at the races.